Hello there friends, it's been less than a day since our last video and it's already time to release a new one. There are so many different insights and rumors surfacing almost every minute. Electronic and Perfecto are leaving Navi and Natos Vincere are urgently looking for replacements considering some unexpected options. Reshuffles happening in Astralis, BIG and so on. In short, as always, there's a bunch of news and it's time to discuss them. All I ask from you is to subscribe to the channel. Anyways, without further ado, let's get straight to it. So, of course, the main news of yesterday was the roster changes in Navi. Just as I released a video about JL agreeing to join Natos Vincere, another news came in. It seems that the lineup won't be Russian speaking, and right now Navi is in talks with ALEKSIB and IM. Remember how everyone laughed at this possibility? Well, now Nel himself is writing about it. This is the most authoritative source in the entire pro scene, and his words are almost 100% factual. The only reason the transfer may not happen is if parties simply doesn't reach an agreement. But if Nel writes that negotiations are in place, then they're definitely happening. If you don't trust Nel, then I don't know who else you can trust. Moreover, he mentions that the final lineup hasn't been decided yet, so we can wait for further details. Simple, Beat, IM, JL and ALEKSIB, and all of this could be the new Navi lineup. Could you even believe it when you see such a 5 on HLTV? It's simply mind-blowing. Followers bombarded Simple with questions about this, but he can't provide any answers.
Так, ребята, тут вопросы по ростерам, по всей этой теме, на это я не буду отвечать, потому что я же не трачу свое время, я не могу вам ответить. Хочу ответить, но не могу, понимаете? Нельзя так делать, вы все-таки, вы же должны это знать.
Meanwhile, Navi's chief operating officer has already followed IM on Instagram, so it seems that the transfer is very close. What do you think of this Navi roster? Rate it from 1 to 10 in the comments below. Many people though have questions about ALEKSIB. Since his time in ANS, he hasn't won anything anywhere. He joined OG, G2, NAP but didn't stay for long and couldn't lead the teams to the top. On the other hand, Navi plays with a very structured style and Blade has trained them so well that they can't even take a step to the left sometimes. As G2 players say, ALEKSIB is an incredibly structured player. He's very similar to Blade in that sense, so maybe he's the captain that Navi needs. Let's wait for the official announcement. Moreover, it seems that Perfecto and Electronic are indeed leaving Navi on their own. Overdrive confirmed this. He writes that the probability of this is 90%. First, an HLTV admin talks about it and now Overdrive. So it seems that everything is already decided. We're waiting for Electronic and Perfecto in their new team. It's interesting to know what is behind all this and whether the guys will talk later about what happened within the team during this period. Navi will probably never be the same again, and it all started when they removed Boomich. It will be extremely hilarious if Electronic and Perfecto reunite with him someday in a team like Cloud9, I don't know. Let's move on because we just can't talk about Navi all the time. Suddenly, yesterday, Astralis started making significant changes. Firstly, they removed their sports director and Hunden. Remember when GLAIVE said that he was glad to have professionals like Hunden by his side, but apparently it didn't go well. As for the sports director, it's also quite obvious. They removed Config, signed Lucky, Farlek, Bobsky, extended Zipnik's contract, but then sent him to play in the academy, and all of this is ultimately the responsibility of the sports director. So it's quite logical, strange that they didn't do it earlier. And the next news truly shocked everyone. HLTV released an article overnight. There was a report stating that Astralis is planning to remove GLAIVE after his 7 years with the org, and Stair from Sprout will take his place. This is incredibly unexpected considering that GLAIVE has one of the highest salaries in the industry. However, on the other hand, even without GLAIVE, Astralis still has 2 captains in the lineup, Blamef and Altax from the youth team. So it makes sense to focus on fraggers rather than IGLs, and that's why Astralis has been chasing Stair for at least the past 6 months, if not longer. And the new captain instead of GLAIVE will be Blamef, which is logical since he has previously shown himself to be very capable in that role, both individually and tactically. By the way, at the end of their article, HLTV mentioned that applications for Blast needed to be submitted by June 22nd, which is the date. But if a team doesn't do it, it's not a big deal, they'll just have a lower seed in the group stage. Essentially, organizations don't really care about this roster lock. You may end up playing against stronger teams, but at least you'll have a proper roster assembled instead of rushing to meet the June 22nd deadline. And right after all this news, it started. Sponge suggested that Navi should take GLAIVE on board. Many others have also reported on this. It's funny how until last night it was difficult to imagine, and now GLAIVE is available, so why not? Friends, what do you think would be a better option for Navi, ALEKSIB or GLAIVE? Write your thoughts in the comments, let's discuss. And extra, fresh news, Astralis finally announced their new lineup, it's official. All the rumors we've heard before about Xipnix and GLAIVE leaving the team are true, they have both been benched. Stair and Borup will take vacant places. Okay, I agree, Stair is good, but Borup is kinda risky bold move. He's a talented guy, yeah, and he's 23 years old, he played for Mad Lions and Copenhagen Flames previously, so he has a lot to prove. We will review this roster update closer in the next video. There's also more news about Liquid. As HLTV writes, they have signed Rainwaker. The deal is done. However, there seem to be some difficulties with Patsy. Maybe they can't agree on the price, or there are issues due to sanctions, but according to sources, Liquid really wants to sign this Spirit player, so they're not giving up on anything. And there seem to be some issues with Russian players in general. As Dust2 reports, EG is also facing difficulties with the Zorte's transfer. They say the transfer dropped due to unknown reasons. They also couldn't reach the agreement with Elige. It was revealed that he declined a $100,000 move to Complexity for the sake of EG, but apparently the organizations couldn't reach a deal. So now Complexity might try their luck again and signed Elige. I really don't understand what's going on with them in North America, or maybe Electronic agreed to the transfer, so EG chose him instead of Elige. There is no detailed information available yet, so we can only speculate. Who knows, maybe Evil Geniuses will end up keeping their old lineup after all. The rumors don't end there. For example, according to Dust2 again, Cold Zero and his team decided to leave the organization. They will leave 00 Nation together and create their own new club. Can you guys guess why? Because I can't. But of course, the most interesting rumors were once again brought up by Harumi. He shared a whole list of what's currently happening in the pro scene. According to his information, G2 planned to remove Hooksy and bring in IM or Twists as a replacement. Hunter would become the captain. However, G2 released a joking video yesterday announcing that there are no replacements planned. They're entering the new season with the old lineup, although we have seen so many times before how players or clubs say one thing and then something completely different happens. Next, Harumi writes that Fnatic will keep Mezzi and Roche. They're indeed testing many players from the CIS region, but they will still communicate in English. And Shalfei will become the new captain of Force, so they are currently looking for a new rifler and a sniper. There are other rumors as well, but we have already discussed them in other videos. In short, the restructuring of the pro scene is in full swing. Even the top players themselves are shocked by what's happening. For example, Apex wrote the following: "What a mess! I will end in another team if it keeps going like that." And it's hard not to agree. Something crazy happens every day. But let's finish with the rumors and move on to official news. The last thing I wanted to mention on this topic is that according to players, Falcons paid $200,000 for Boros. But then Monte's analyst, Kreisen, reacted and said it's not true. And according to other sources, the buyout clause was around $350,000, possibly even close to $400,000. And no one reacted to this figure, so it seems much closer to the truth. It's kinda logical, Falcons could afford to have lured Boros with a substantial sum of money. Now let's move on to official news, finally. The rumors about Mantu joining BIG have indeed been confirmed. They have announced their new roster: Tapson, Crimbo, Process, Sin and Mantu. It appears that Keto, Favn and Hyped have been removed from the team. The young player has been sent to the academy, Keto is on the transfer list, and Favn has taken a break due to the birth of his child. I agree, it's not the loudest announcement, but at least it's official. Additionally, Virtus.pro announced a new contract extension with Jame. It's a 4-year deal showing their commitment. And can you believe it? Those are all the official news for today. So we continue to live in a world of rumors and potential roster shuffles. Today's video turned out to be much shorter. Give it a like if you prefer these daily short videos over lengthy rumor discussions for 20 minutes. I've already liked it myself. In the end, I'll show you Scream's highlights in CS2. And go hit that subscribe button as there are plenty more news ahead of us. See you soon.
Si tu veux une flash, tu me le dis, ok?
Oh, vous l'avez vu celui-là ou pas? Qui l'a vu? Qui l'a vu? Qui l'a vu? Oui, oui!
Je lève la main, oui!
oui, j'ai vu.
Encore? Bah
Ok.
attends, ils sont où là?
Ok, ils sont devant toi là.
Il y en a encore
Ouais,
un.
ah ouais, pas.
Oh!
J'ai vu, j'ai vu.
Ça arrive dans mon-
Attends frérot, laissez-moi décaler à la cale, 2 secondes, ouais, tu connais.
Attention, ça peut être
Adil,
devant toi, je
je fais
suis.
flash Adil. Ça part.
Ouais, attends, je suis pas prêt. Je fais quoi toi?
Ah, c'est vrai qu'il est. Oui, oui, allez, allez, bon, c'est parti. Il est parti.
Venez, on va le chercher, on va le chercher.
Oh mon dieu.
Donnez-moi mon ace!